at the Light and Wonder showroom in Las Vegas, and I am joined by Garrick, Associate Product Manager, who worked on the Huff and Puff series of games, and we're going to ask him some questions about those games today. Garrick, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Well, Garrick, let's just dive right into it.
Yep.
Can you let me know, what was the inspiration behind the Huff and Puff series? I mean, it's one of the most popular games out there in the casino that players love, operators love. What really inspired you?
Yeah. So the Huff and Puff series obviously comes from a fairy tale story that we all know so well, with the three little pigs and the wolf blowing down the houses. It was just such a great story that we all knew, we all were familiar with, and then some of our developers here created the game, and in its very original state was the Lock and Link series. It wasn't part of the original Lock and Link series, but it became a follow-up title, and then it wasn't a star out the gates. You know, it took some time for it to kind of build its reps, and then consistently over time, though, you saw a great performance out of it. And then an Australian studio picked up the Huff and More Puff concept, created that version of it. Then 3 or 4 years later, we have Huff and Even More Puff, and then from there, as you're familiar, we have all these different new iterations. So that story and story is what's given the brand a lot of lift, and it just resonates really well with the mechanics and everything.
So taking into consideration all of the Huff and Puff versions, because there are a lot of those Huff and Puff versions out there now, what would you say is the top performer? The best one?
Yeah, so I may have some recency bias here, but I would say the Huff and Even More Puff would probably be the best performer. The reason I say that is because, I mean, 2 reasons. One is the timing of when it came out. So this was the first follow-up to Huff and More Puff, as I mentioned earlier, in about 3 to 4 years. So there was a lot of excitement for this new title. So once players saw that this title was on the floors, whether on magazines, online, or in actual casinos, they were really excited to play it. A lot of fanfare behind it, and I've even had some stories of when I was playing the game and people drove all the way from opposite sides of town just to come to the specific property on the strip because that was the first place that had it. There's also a lot of accolades. So this was voted one of the top games, top core games in the market from Eilers and the Eilers Awards. You saw a lot of great performance reports coming out of Eilers for Huff and Even More Puff. So a lot of great success, one of the top games in the market. So definitely accolades, and then just a lot of great stories and excitement behind it as well.
So, you know, kind of building on that a little bit, talking about the games, I got to know, are there any Easter eggs kind of hidden in the game that players might not know about? Like sometimes, for those of you not familiar, sometimes there's little Easter eggs. Like sometimes you might like touch a screen and, you know, something happens on it or something like that. Is there like you poke a certain pig? Oh, well, there's one right there. you poke the pig and he bounces. Any more that players might not be aware of?
Yeah. So as far as Easter eggs, I would say that's one of them. More so very minuscule detail, but we have stuff like this in Money Mansions, but not so much in our Huff and Puff series. You don't see Easter eggs on those. Speaking with the design teams as well, they weren't able to pinpoint a specific Easter egg in any of the versions, but we do have Easter eggs in some of our other games, like Dragon Jinlong will have one, but there is certain Easter eggs in other games, but nothing top of mind for the Huff and Puff series.
I gotta say, one of the things that I really loved about Money Mansions was the new graphics, just the shading on the characters, the animations of the wolf. The graphics are phenomenal on it. Are we going to see that carry over into future Huff and Puff games?
Yes and no, it depends. I love that you pointed out the art. The art team, the Chicago team, actually took this game and created this one. So Huff and Puff Money Mansion, quick backstory, that was the first Huff and Puff that we introduced on what we call the gaming ops side, or the premium. So you'll see at least on casino floors this beautiful sign package in front of us. So the design teams had the initiative to really uplift the art. So you see the shades and the textures on the wolf. You see this mansion. Initially it was a kind of a tall up and down structure, but they made it lean back to make it more grand, and you can see the values a bit better. These pig hats, the celebrations, like they did a lot of work to execute on the art. So those assets exist. Now, whether it's going to be on different future versions or not, it depends. It could be a different studio working on a game. It can be a different concept. It depends on the concept. So when you take a look at like Huff and More Puff, for example, you have Huff and More Puff, Huff and Even More, and then now Huff and Puff Grand, kind of build on that wheel, second wheel, third wheel. So the art in that game is going to be pretty much consistent all throughout. They're maintaining the continuity there. Money Mansion was our first kind of sidestep, so that's why you saw this facelift in the art. And then High Rise, which we recently released, was also developed in Chicago. They actually decided to utilize some of the assets that were created from Money Mansion, so it just depends on the concept and then the studio that's working on it.
One more. There it is. All right, we got the wheel bonus on $10 a spin. How about a mansion feature? Wouldn't that be cool? All right. Gonna get a mansion feature? Fingers crossed. Let's do it. Or just pop the major now. Slowing down. No way, no way. We got the mansion feature. Holy crap. You know how hard that is to do, guys? Oh my gosh. This is only the second time I've ever had the mansion feature. That is incredible. Guys, be sure, hit that like button for me. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. Let's see it. Come on. It's gonna be all gold houses on a $10 bet. Minor is 500, mini is 100, that major, $2,385. And of course the grand, 13,000, but we need lots of hats, come on. Hats anywhere, any hat, any hat. All right, there's one. Let's get a retrigger though. Let's get some more hats. Good, good. All right, 2 more, we'll take it, we'll take it. Let's get a retrigger though, come on, hats. All right, I'll prefer 1 hat over 0 hats. I can't believe we got the mansion feature, guys. That's incredible. Oh man, 1 short of a retrigger. All right, can we get a retrigger here, please? 3 hats, 3. All right, we'll take it. Incredible, we got the mansion feature. Hey, 2 minors and a mini would be a jackpot right there. Come on, can we get that major? 2,300 on a $10 bet? That'd be kind of cool. Will it into existence, come on. Coins, lots of coins. Many, a lot of coins, many times 2, a lot of minis. All right, we got a ton of minis, and we got some good ones, and we got ourselves a jackpot, $1,600. Not bad. I can't believe we got the mansion feature. That was incredibly cool. Wow. We talk about all these, the different studios working on the art and so on and so forth. What would you say is the hardest part about creating a game like this?
Not a designer, but I wish I was. But I do work with the design team a lot. And in my discussions with them, their hardest challenge really, and I could break this question down to kind of 2 pieces. So for example, Money Mansion, one of the hardest challenge there was, as you know, the art was really well done, really well executed, but you kind of have to maintain the true elements of what Huff and Puff was without straying too far away. So that was their biggest challenge when you incorporate such a new feature like this mansion feature with the link jackpots. These are all new features that you have to come up with sound and visuals for, so that was something challenging for them on the Money Mansion side. Or when speaking to the developers of Huff and Even More Puff, for example, there wasn't a new Huff and Puff for about 4 years, so it was all about dialing in what made that game great, what gave that game the great legs that it has, and they made sure they didn't want to stray too far away from it, but iterate just enough so players were fans of it, and thankfully, it's one of the best games in the market, and fans really seem to like it.
That's awesome. And speaking of, I know we talked earlier in the episode about popularity in terms of, top performer. But what is your personal favorite Huff and Puff?
My personal favorite would probably be Huff and Even More Puff. So I joined the company a few years ago now, going on my 4th year, and I was on the timeline of Huff and More Puff going into Huff and Even More Puff. But just seeing the build up and the ramp up for that game from its beginning to when it got released, and just seeing the post-release, seeing all the excitement and the players, the people online playing it. There's a specific Slot Tech story where the Slot Tech opened the conversion and thought it felt like Christmas because they had the new Huff and Puff ready. Stuff like that is what makes this one probably my personal favorite.
One feature on here though. Hey, we got a mystery feature. What's he gonna give us? Buzzsaws. Golden buzzsaw. The golden buzzsaw means that we get the big wheel, we get the secondary wheel, the super wheel. $10 bet. Okay, I'm happy. All right, let's see what we get. Mansion feature. Mansion feature. I'm not even gonna look. Not even gonna look. Okay, I'm gonna look. Super buzzsaw. Super buzzsaw. Okay. So let's zoom all the way out. So the super feature means we get that double stack screen. So it's gonna be a big screen. Again, $10 bet. All right, we need lots of hats, lots of retriggers on this one. All right, a lot of spots for a lot of hats. Now the number of hats are reduced on this one, but we got a retrigger right there. All right, 2 wood and a retrigger. Let's just keep doing that. Just fill it all in with mansions, why not? Come on. Hats, 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 hats. No hats. Like I said, the number of hats are reduced on this game when you get that double screen. lot of people say, why do I have the big screen and I'm not getting any hats? It's because the number of hats are reduced. Come on, we need at least 1 gold. 1 gold, come on. Last game, let's get 1 gold. 1. Retrigger. All right, we got a retrigger. No gold hats yet. No gold houses, I should say. Let's try to get one on this one. Come on, gold house. Gold, gold, gold. All right, we got a retrigger and we got 2 gold. Could be good. Again, we're betting 10 bucks a spin. And we got a little line hit there. Can we get another retrigger? Just keep retriggering. No, but we did get another gold. Okay. Let's see what we got. $10 bet. Mini is worth $100. Minor is worth $500. Major is worth $17,585. $17,000 major would be awesome on a $10 bet. Again, 10-cent lean off. All right. $115. All right, here's the big ones. Let's get a major. Why not? Just ask for it. Mini times 2 and a mini. Not bad. $565. Do a little dance. All right, so quick question for you.
Yep.
What is one small detail that you absolutely love about the game that a player might overlook or miss?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that. This is actually a perfect example. A small detail that I even overlooked myself until I kind of played it a few more times and realized it was when you trigger the feature in Huff and you get the wolf that blows down the houses and things of that nature. There's a laugh animation that's been built into the game, a laugh from the wolf. Now, when you look at previous versions of the game, that laugh animation didn't exist. You would hear it, but visually there'd be no animation into it. Once I realized that while playing the game is when it struck me like, wow, like the design team here really put detail into the game if they track little things like that to make sure those things were implemented into the game. And that animation is such a small detail. Again, I didn't notice it, you might have or others might have, but that's something that I didn't notice that I love that's in the game.
I'll have to look for that next time. And you guys look for that too next time you're out there playing it. So what role does market research play when developing a slot machine?
Market research is huge. So market research, just like with any field, you have to study the market, have to study what the players want, study what's trending in the market, what mechanics, theme packages, a lot of different pieces go into this, and we have a dedicated product management team and also even our developers. Our developers are huge gamblers. They love going out and playing other games. Everyone's knowledgeable of what the players want, what the customers want, and making sure that we execute that in our products. But that is definitely top of mind here.
And how do you measure the success of a slot machine once it comes out to market?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. One of the main sources I would say is just looking at third-party performance reports, so whether that be Real Metrics or whether that be the Eilers reports. Those are our key indicators of how the games are doing. But also doesn't have to come down to performance reports. It could be word of mouth. It could be just the designers playing the game for themselves and seeing portions that they like and seeing it as a success in their mind.
So where do you see games like Huff and even more Puff going in the future?
A lot of different ways that we can take this brand. So as you noticed, we've kind of been evolving on that Huff and More Puff series. So we add the wheel mechanics, we add the supersize feature, and kind of build upon that. So that's one methodology that we can continue. We can also measure with other mechanics, such as the 3-pot mechanic or things of that nature. So we have a lot of talented studios here. So depending on what flavor they like most, what mechanics they love most, they're going to implement that brand. But you will see more iterations coming from us and more iterations that are a bit of a side step from the originals like Huff and More Puff or even the original Huff and Puff.
So before we get going, is there anything else that you would like players to know about the Huff and Puff series of games?
I mean, no, not really. Just expect some more Huff and Puffs on the way. There's gonna be some great titles. You're gonna see new mechanics never before seen, theme packages and mechanics on these new versions of Huff and Puff. Just keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll be having these at trade shows soon and on casino floors soon.
Well, Garrick, thank you so much for joining us here today. I really do appreciate it. And guys out there, if you are interested in playing Money Mansions or any of the Huff and Puff games. There are so many that are available on the Jackpot Party slot app, which we're going to put a link to that in the video description down below. Tap on that link, you're going to get free coins to get started. You can play all the same games that you would play at the casino right from the comfort of your own home, including games like this one. Anyway, guys, this was all about the Huff and Puff series of games here from the Light and Wonder showroom in Las Vegas. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you again on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching. Check out these other videos and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more slot tips. It's always free. Visit ropethejackpot.com for free guides and a whole lot more. Catch you on the next episode.